Hello and welcome. This is the Ferrari F40. This is one of the best, if not the best, Ferrari in Gran Turismo 7. Yes, it costs 3 million credits, but it is well worth the money, and in today's video I'm gonna explain why. In 1987, when the car began production, it was Ferrari's fastest, most powerful and most expensive car, and you didn't actually receive much for your money, as the car didn't come with a radio, electric windows or even carpets. The car was designed to be extremely lightweight. That's why even the paint on it is so thin that you can see the carbon fiber weave through it. But what you did get was a twin turbocharged V8 propelling you all the way up to 201 miles per hour. So the car was extremely fast and extremely lightweight. If you take the F40 out on track standard, it's not actually that impressive. Okay, if you think of it, that time period, the 80s, what this car is capable of is modern sports car standards. But this car never came with traction control or computers controlling everything. It was just you and the car and the road. That was it. And personally, I love turning off the traction control to really feel what the car would feel like. And the only real drawback that I did find with the Ferrari F40 standard was that the car did understeer. Everything else, the way the car accelerated, handled, the overall car in general is really quite impressive for the car's age. If you fully upgrade the standard F40 engine, you will get over 260 brake horsepower added onto it and bring the weight down to under 1000 kgs. Now these figures aren't mind-boggling, but it should really highlight the car's overall performance. So after upgrading the engine, we added a front splitter, side skirts and rear spoiler to just help with the added downforce, and I decided to paint my Ferrari F40 pink.
FBI, open up!
Now with the Ferrari being fully upgraded, the car is able to do over 300 kilometers per hour coming into the first turn. And with the way the car accelerates with the upgraded turbo, there is a slight bit of lag, but even with the anti-lag, it does help out a bit, but you can still feel that lag is present. Now, when it comes to accelerating out of a corner, the car is a bit twitchy, but that's part of the fun. You're supposed to have control over the car and drive the car, not have the car drive you. And I think that's exactly what the F40 embodies. The car is supposed to be driven without any assist on. It's supposed to be driven to make you feel and understand the raw power of this Ferrari. And the thing is, with no traction control on, the way the car is set up, it is incredibly fast around the circuit. The Ferrari is actually 400 of a second slower than the Lamborghini Aventador SV, and that's the fastest car they have been able to take around the circuit. So that just goes to show you how fast that the Ferrari F40 actually is. And now the crazy thing is, we can make it even faster. The Ferrari F40 can be engine swapped. Yes, the engine from the Ferrari Enzo can go into a Ferrari F40, allowing it to have a bit more power than the standard engine. Now fully upgraded, the standard engine produces 737 brake horsepower, and if we add the Ferrari Enzo engine and fully upgrade this, we get 860 brake horsepower. So you might be thinking to yourself, 130 brake horsepower added on top shouldn't actually make that much of a difference. We're not talking about adding another 500 horsepower. 130 isn't that much. And oh boy, would you be wrong. That extra 130 brake horsepower completely changes this vehicle. The car is so much more responsive, and that's because the Enzo engine does not allow you to add a turbocharger, which means there's no lag whatsoever. No matter when you put your foot down, no matter the RPM, the car is gonna give you 100% of the power 100% of the time, which makes this car extremely lively and just a blast to drive around the circuit. And I forgot to mention, with us engine swapping it, we lose about 5 kgs. It's not much, but I mean, we gained horsepower and we still lost weight. It's a win-win all around, and as you can see, the Ferrari F40 is quite a handful. Now what I appreciate about this engine swap is it's not too overpowered. We're not looking at having like 1,200 brake horsepower. The Ferrari can't handle that amount of power. It's gonna be just sliding all over the place. This is a reasonable amount of power to go fast, and honestly, if you're not careful, you can spin out like this. So you do need to take your time and be careful when driving this car, but push it as hard as possible, and you'll just receive such a wave of enjoyment from driving this vehicle. The way it handles and takes corners, there's no understeer at all. The only thing you really have to watch out for is the car biting back when you accelerate, because yes, with no traction, the car does want to light up its rear wheels, but it's super easy to catch it so you don't actually spin out. This car also means it's a viable option for money grinding. So yes, your 3 million can turn into a very big investment, and you can actually earn that money back. Now the car has a lot of power, so you will go flying past AI, and it isn't that heavy when it comes to fuel, so you're probably only gonna have to fuel up every third lap if you're doing this 30 minutes around Le Mans. In my opinion, this car is worth the 3 million price tag. For me personally, I feel like this car performs better than the McLaren F1, which I mean, if we compare them, the F40 which is 3 million and the McLaren F1 which is 20, so it's clear to see which of these cars are actually better value for money. Now the Ferrari LaFerrari is supposed to be the best Ferrari that you can buy, but around the same circuits, under the same conditions, the Ferrari F40 is able to outperform the Ferrari LaFerrari. And I'm not talking about all by a couple of tenths of a second. The Ferrari F40 smashed the LaFerrari's time by almost 2 seconds. And in racing, you know how long that actually is. The other F40 time in fourth position, that is the fully upgraded standard engine. So you can see the difference between the engine swap and the standard engine. So even if you aren't fortunate enough to receive the engine swap, the standard engine is more than capable of keeping up with some of the best cars in the game. So in my personal opinion, the Ferrari F40 is the best Ferrari in the game, as it outperforms the LaFerrari FXXK. Whatever Ferrari you can think of, the F40 can do whatever that car does, and it does it better, more fun, and just better. The F40 is such a good car, and I highly recommend you pick it up, because it is in the legendary dealership and it's not gonna be there forever. You have about 6 days left from the time this video was released, so if you have the chance to pick it up, please do. So with all this being said, hope you guys did enjoy this video. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.